be. My name is Sean. I'm delighted you're joining us for today's ESPC community webinar. Today I'm joined by João Ferreira, MVP, who will cover building beautiful SharePoint pages, leveraging flexible layouts with SPF solutions. We love hearing what you guys have to say, so remember to join on the conversation about today's webinar and more on X. Our handle is at ESPC underscore community, and our hashtag is hashtag ESPC25. Tweet us, tag us, and tell us what you learned. Don't forget to check out our Learning Hub, which is updated with the latest blogs, ebooks, webinars, and how-to videos. You can access and view the Learning Hub by visiting our website, sharepointeurope.com, and clicking Content tab at the top. Continue to keep up and stay ahead by joining us for next webinar. Don't fear the next deployment of your SPFx project with Peter Paul Krishner, MVP. This webinar will take place tomorrow, this evening, Wednesday, 22nd of October at 4 p.m. CEST. For more information on this webinar, please check out www.sharepointeurope.com/SharePoint Week. Celebrate SharePoint Week with an exclusive ESPC offer. In honor of SharePoint Week, we're thrilled to unveil a special limited time promotion for ESPC. The first 10 new bookings will receive an extra €500 discount on top of their current late bird ticket price. Simply use the code SharePoint Week Special at checkout. This exclusive offer is our way of celebrating the SharePoint community's continued innovation, collaboration, and impact across the Microsoft ecosystem. Don't miss out. This promotion is valid only for new bookings made before October 31st or until all discounted places are claimed. Secure your spot today and be part of Europe's premier Microsoft 365 AI and Azure conference taking place in Dublin this December. As always, if you have any questions at any stage, feel free to type in the chat box and Jal will get to them during the webinar. This webinar will be recorded and added to the Resource Center, where you'll be notified by email when it's available. And now I'm going to pass it over to today's webinar presenter, Jao. Hello, Jao. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. Let me start by sharing my screen. All right, I think
Yeah,
you
perfect. I can see
can
your
probably see it.
presentation. Yeah.
All right, so today I'm here to talk about how you can build beautiful SharePoint pages, leveraging flexible layouts with SharePoint framework solutions, and much more. I would love to add everything to the title that I'm about to show you, but that would be a book and not a title of a session. My name is João Ferreira. I'm a product manager for Microsoft integrations at AppSpace. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm also an MVP, and I write quite a lot about SharePoint. I've been working with Microsoft technology all my professional life, and I started working with SharePoint and never left. I've been embracing other technologies like Microsoft Teams and now Copilot, but I never left SharePoint. So I know very well how it works. I know the legacy stuff. Behind me, it's a sealed copy of SharePoint 2001. So I'm a huge fan of the platform. And this flexible layout functionality, it's taking it to a whole new level. So if you want to find me online, you can find me on LinkedIn with João 12 Ferreira. It's the handle on LinkedIn and both on Twitter and Blue Sky. And you can find me also at Amazon Tech or Amazon SharePoint or AmazonTeams.net. I know there's quite a lot of domains, but instead of creating a single blog, I decided to create one blog for each area. That's how I end up managing 5 different blogs. When not working with technology, I love to travel with the family. And just this weekend, I went to Rome to run the Alpha Marathon. I still have my medal here. I'm super proud of achieving a new one. And in a nutshell, this is who I am. And now that the introductions are done, let's jump right into what I have to show you today. So before we jump into SharePoint, let me tell you about Explorer. I'm sure you are all familiar with Contoso and the multiple lives of Contoso with drones and food and all things that Microsoft comes up with for the fictional companies that they use for their demos. Well, Explorer, it's my own fictional company. It's an outdoor activity company with a heavy focus on mountains and radical activities. So this is what we will be using today to show you how you can build beautiful SharePoint pages and how you can transform the way SharePoint looks like to make it not look like SharePoint. This was a common thing to hear when I first started working with SharePoint. My first job was to actually modify heavily SharePoint. I've created hundreds of master pages to change completely what SharePoint looked like back in the day on SharePoint on premises, things that would be impossible to do today. And thank God now we have modern SharePoint and flexible layouts that allow us to do a lot of nice things in a safe and controlled way without a timing bomb ready to explode at any moment. So this is the logo. This is the main colors reflected in an image that is used across the organization and are the foundation of the branding guidelines, including color and font. Here is the combination of all the colors that are used by the organization and with the logo on top and with the fonts, so you can have an idea of how things should look like when combined together. And the last thing, the fonts. For headings, the organization uses alternates, and for the body, they use Segway UI, that it's the same font that is used by SharePoint. So in order to get this into SharePoint, first, there are a few things that need to be addressed globally at the tenant level, not just for SharePoint in particular, but to the entire Microsoft 365 tenant, so things get consistent and you get the branding that creates engagement and makes the users feel that they are accessing something from the organization and not just another corporate application like Word or Excel. So this branding needs to be applied to SharePoint, and out of the box, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with this. Well, I will call it modern. This is no longer modern. Modern SharePoint was released in 2016. This is, well, SharePoint. And I'm pretty sure that you've seen this. This is what you get when you create a blank site. You have the black top toolbar with the white canvas where you can start adding content on top. And no wonder that users don't like it. I don't like it. It has black, the teal color from SharePoint, and a bunch of out-of-the-box components, and there's nothing pretty in here. What we will have to do to start working the transformation of SharePoint and to start creating beautiful pages is to transform the way it looks when you start blank and when you start from scratch creating something inside of the ecosystem. And from this, applying the branding guidelines and creating themes for both the tenant and for the SharePoint that can be applied with the custom fonts, the custom colors, we will transform our empty pages from this into something like this. And we will bring all the elements from the branding guideline. As you can see, the toolbar now, it's pink with the logo, and it also has the photo with the background and the logo in the middle, and the dark blue, it's there. In terms of content, nothing has changed. Everything remains the same, but it changes the perception of what you are looking for. If you work for this organization in particular, you will easily relate with SharePoint this way rather than looking into an empty SharePoint page using teal and black. So in order to create this, the first thing that you need to do is to go to the admin center as an admin, and this is not the one that I want to show you. As an admin, you will have to go to the admin center and you will have to configure two different things. First, you will have to create, you need to go to settings, org settings, organization profile, and you will have to go to the custom themes for the organization. And in the custom theme is where you will set the color for the suit bar that it will be available across the organization. I did that in the default theme. Here's the upload for the logo, and then for the colors. There's a ratio for the colors. Mine don't match that, but well, if you are willing to create this from scratch, make sure that this matches the minimum color contrast ratio. So once you apply this with the colors and the logo, the top will change, and this will be propagated across all apps inside of Microsoft 365 that use this suit bar. Then there's another thing that you need to do in order to get the custom fonts and to get the custom colors into your SharePoint. This will be propagated there automatically, but the fonts, the custom fonts and the custom colors will not. And to do that, you need to go to the org settings, and here you will see the brand center. And this brand center allows you to create a new site collection that will host all your brand center files. It can host other types of things like document templates and things like that, but those are not relevant for this presentation. So I will copy this link. Actually, I don't need it because I already have it here. And this is my brand center. This is where I will be able to upload the custom fonts for the organization and define the colors that the organization will use. So if I click here in the brand fonts, this will show me all the font packages that already exist in the organization. I've uploaded a few alternate variants to test. There's a light, there's an extra bold, there's also Segway UI that is the same one that is used by SharePoint. But all of them are listed in here, and I'm able to use and reuse them on SharePoint. Then same thing for the colors. I brought all my colors into here, so I'm able to then reuse them in SharePoint. And with this, let's jump into the SharePoint home site. Before we do that, let me quickly tell you about the flexible layouts. That is what we are about to see in this presentation in more detail. So if you are not familiar yet with the flexible layouts, until now SharePoint had a few predefined zones that were super rigid, and you could either have a full width section, a box contained section, a sidebar in the left, a sidebar in the right, and that was it. There was no flexibility whatsoever to move web parts around and to drag and drop things like you do, for example, in the PowerPoint. So I saw.
Sorry, Joe. There's two questions in, if that's all right.
Okay.
Sorry, one. If you have already an organization asset site, can I use that site for the fonts?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. And then the next question is, what permissions do I need to access the brand center? I am a brand admin, SharePoint admin, Teams admin, but I am not a tenant admin.
You need to be a tenant admin. It needs to be created by the tenant admin, to be created at least. To access to it, I think it can be shared with other users once the site collection is created, because at the end of the day, that's a SharePoint site collection. But yeah, I think you need to be a global admin to create it. That's for sure. I'm assuming that it can be shared with others, but I would have to verify on that.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That's all the questions so far.
All right. And I'm sorry, my Teams, for some reason, is not respecting my do not disturb and is making noises. Okay, let me. All right. If it continues, then I will sign out. So the grid system. This is super flexible, allows you to drag and drop and resize web parts like what you do in PowerPoint in reality. And we are about to see that, and it's super fun and super easy to use. You can place web parts wherever, and you can even overlap them to create compositions of different web parts to create your own components. And it works with everything. And when I say everything, it means literally everything. It supports out-of-the-box web parts. And from day one, since this was released, it also supports custom web parts built with SharePoint framework. That's not always the case when Microsoft releases something new for SharePoint. Usually it's released with first-party support, but for this one in particular, they released it with support for custom solutions as well, and they work fantastic with the SharePoint flexible sections. And then last, it enhances the user experience. This is my personal opinion. But as we are about to see, by the page we will create and by the settings and the possibilities that we now have, you will see that SharePoint will no longer look like SharePoint as it used to look like in the past once we apply the flexible layouts. And what we are about to create here today is this exact page. I will go through the creation of this page live in this section. I will explain you how this can be done, and we will be applying the branding, the custom fonts, custom SharePoint framework, web parts, and much more, like list formatting, section backgrounds, combined with standard web parts. And all of this will create what you see in this page. And I will even try to make it work, not just on desktop, but also make it work and look good on mobile as well. As you know, SharePoint was not always mobile friendly, but we will try to get this working on mobile. Not necessarily for mobile phones, but you know, when you are with the tablet in your hand and you flip it vertically and things rearrange, well, we don't want overlaps and we don't want unnecessary things in the screen that are just taking space. We want the users to be able to interact with the valuable content that you create for them. So let's jump right into it and let's start creating our site. So the first thing that I will do is create a blank page. Now, when you create a blank page, and if you haven't seen this yet, this is the new way for you to create pages. There's Microsoft promised 50. I don't know. I don't think 50 are already in here, but they promised 50 different templates. Most of them, or the majority, or these new ones, I think all of them make use of the flexible layouts and use some of the techniques that I'm about to show you in here. So it's a great starting point if you want to transform and if you want to modify the way your pages look like. So to start this one, I will create a blank page. And when you create a blank page, in this interface in particular, it's no longer blank. It brings already a few things. So comments are on, and this is the first thing that I want to turn off. Then it already has sections, and I want to get rid of all of them. I don't want any of the classic sections. So I don't want 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, vertical sections. I don't want any of these things. I just want to work with the flexible section, and I want to create everything using the flexible section. I don't need the euro as well. And well, let's delete it. And let's delete the section. And now we are here with our blank page. As you can see, the header and the fonts are already applied. And once you get that deployed, you can go to the change the look. And what I did to get this working, just to show you how things look like. I don't know what happened here or why SharePoint did this reload, but this was funny. All right, in the change the look, there's a theme with the colors that was created using the colors that were defined already. It's applied. The fonts, I showed you the packages that were deployed. I deployed the Alpernox with Segway UI, and this was done to the entire organization. So here's the Alpernox with Segway UI. Microsoft has a few other fonts that you can choose from, or you can define them inside as well. So then for the other, I use the extended version of the other. I like to use this on sites that require a landing page to create a great impact with the brand. For sites that do not need to rely so heavily on the brand, I usually use the minimal or compact layout. And with the extended layout, what I did was to define an image, the same image that I showed you in the brand guidelines as the background, and I brought the logo right in center. And I set the dark blue as the color for the navigation. So on the navigation, I selected the Segway UI, but now if you define custom fonts or a custom font schema, you can choose between one or the other. And Segway UI is the one that is used for the body, and Alpernox is the one that is used for the headings. And lastly, the footer, I decided to keep it visible. It's dark blue with the logo and the few links, and that's it. And it's the simple footer from SharePoint. Not necessary to have it available, but well, it's another option to bring the brand awareness into SharePoint. All right, so let me close this and let me start by adding our first flexible section. And if you remember what I showed in here, the first flexible section has a background, has a card, has a custom message at the top, and this map to illustrate what is in here. So that's what we will build. And with this flexible section, once you add it, you will have the possibility to go into the settings, click in the design tab, and from here you can select the colors from the theme that apply to that are applied to the section, or you can use one of the available images, or go even further and use your own images that are part of your brand guidelines and the image that your users are familiar with. So I'll go here to my demo assets, and here's the background that I want to use. So this is it. I will apply it, add the image, and now as you can see, it not necessarily matches the colors. When you apply the background, it doesn't look with the same colors, and that's because there's an overlay opacity that is added on top of the image. This is done to ensure that if you put text on top, it's readable, or to minimize scenarios where the color of the text will overlap with the color of the image, and you end up with something that users cannot read. So it was created with the standard size. I can resize it to the size that I want. And as I'm doing this, as you can see, there's this grid system that gets visible. I can try to show you using, no, it didn't work. I tried to use my pointer, but it's not working. So it's a grid system in here with columns that you can use to resize and match your web parts into space. You can select how you position the image. I like and usually use the scale to fill to make sure that the entire space is filled with the background, regardless of the resolution. But well, if you want, you can scale to fit. You can use tile, and it will get replicated, or you can use the original size, and in that case, it will be there in the middle. So scale to fit. I'm happy with the overlay opacity as it is. So the next step is to add web parts. And one important thing when you are working with the flexible sections, and let me just add one other type of section here, just to show you the differences. When you use a section that it's not a flexible one and you want to add a new web part, you come here and the list of web parts appear. If you are new to flexible sections and all of a sudden there's no plus, and when you click into plus, then it shows you the sections, don't worry. For these sections in particular, you will have to use the toolbox from here. It's a set of extra clicks that actually annoy me a bit, but well, it is what it is. I would rather prefer to click here and see all the web parts, but well, there's an extra click to show all the web parts. And the first thing that I will choose from this box is the editorial card, one of the new web parts that Microsoft added to SharePoint, and I will use it to highlight a news post from the organization directly into the banner of the organization. I could easily rely on the hero or in the or on the news web part to create this, but then it would look like SharePoint. And we are here to create beautiful SharePoint sites that don't look like SharePoint, and we will use everything that's available to us and custom solutions to enhance this experience. So when you add it to the page, you see that you can position it in the grid, and I will drag it around here. And when you add the card, by default, it comes with this background image. I have my own custom theme, so I don't want to use this image. I want to get rid of it, use my dark blue color, and now I want to add the content in here. And give me just a second because I closed my notes for this demo. Yes. All right. And now let's do a bit of copy paste just to prevent me from typing all of this. This will be a news post about the European training camps. Well, when I did the copy paste, I lost the formatting, but as you can see, you can choose between the addings and the normal text. The addings are the ones that will use the author now. So I want to use the adding 3. I can even change the color. I think this is not white. Yes, it was not. And now I have the text for the card. All right. I'm describing it. Okay, again, this is not white. So let's put it white. And I have a link to another page that I already have created that I will put in here in the button. And well, this is it. This is how I'm adding my news post to the hero of the hero section of the page with the flexible section using the editorial card. Obviously, there's a bunch of things that you can use to use the editorial card. It has multiple layouts. You can center the text, align it to the left, align it to the right, hide or show properties that exist in here. But this is what I will use for now. So continuing, I want to add more to this area, and this is about training camps that will be happening in 2026. Training camps. Remember, this is an outdoor activity company, so I want to add a map, something that resembles a trail. So to do that, I will bring the image. This is not connected in any shape or form with the news post or with the page that I'm about to add, but I want to bring something that the users can relate to the trail. So this is the trail map. It's white, doesn't have a background. You don't see anything in here, but trust me, it's here. And this is how it looks like. Okay, you can resize it, and it looks super cool next to it. I've created my first composition, and now I dragged it outside of the section. And now let's put it back in. And it ruined the layout, but there's absolutely no problem because I can easily resize it. Okay, this is good. Resize the section to use the available space. Move this a little bit up. And now, SharePoint doesn't have anything that allows you to greet the users, to make them feel special when they first land into your SharePoint sites. So I built a custom SharePoint framework solution to do that you can get from my blog. If you go to my blog and search for the greetings web part, you will find it there. So I will grab the SharePoint framework web part, and as I told you, since day one, SharePoint framework web parts also work with flexible sections. And in here, when I add it, I'm able to resize it. I'm able to go to the settings, display just the name, time of the day, or whatever. I put this settings in here, but you can define your own custom message if you want to set an emoji or whatever, and it will put it there. If not, it will default to this. This is custom code.
Sorry, Joe, there's a question in. How can I make something like the font smaller for all list web parts on a page?
For all list what? Sorry?
For all list web parts on a page.
You will be able, for the text web parts, you will be able to change it in here. For web parts that have the font predefined to 14 pixels, then you cannot. This one that I custom built, for example, I didn't have that option. I added the option to inherit the font from the branding style. If there's a custom font applied to the site, it inherits the font, but I didn't add the option to resize the font. But that's something that can be added later on. And same thing happens for the Microsoft web parts. For this one, for example, for the editorial card, you can. For others, like the news, you cannot. And for the lists, you cannot as well. Or you can using list formatting, as we are about to see. So moving this here to the back, hope that answers the question. So this is the hero with the news that was created. Let's preview how it looks on the page. Expand the adding in, well, it matches. Same color, same branding, same fonts, and it's highlighting a news post and has an image that is related with that. It's not something easy and straightforward to create, but in my opinion, it adds a lot of value and creates engagements, especially when you add custom solutions that know who the user is or add value to the user, that it's actually accessing the page and you are not just providing regular static content. So this is the first one. So let's jump into the presentation again, and let's create another section. And as you can see, this is a bit blurred, but this says Communication Hub. It has alerts, it has SharePoint News, and it has Viva Connections dashboard. So let's quickly add it to the page. So I will add a new flexible section. I could easily implement that one using the 1/3 right, because I will create something similar. And now let's start with my communication hub. And to create the communication hub, the first thing that I will do is go here to the list of web parts, say all web parts, and I will select lists. And the lists will be my alerts and announcements. And I will click in here. And what you are seeing in this alerts and announcements is in reality this list. It was custom formatted with JSON formatting to make it look like an alert system is using SharePoint out-of-the-box components, but to create custom solutions without the need of deploying a SharePoint framework solution. So this is what we have in here. I don't need the comment bar and the see all button. I want to get rid of all of that. And I want to make it slightly bigger in here. And I have no clue why. Okay. And this alerts and announcements, I wanted to say Communication Hub. So because it's inheriting the font from the theme, I'm reusing the title of the web part just to put the Communication Hub in there. And what I will bring up next is the Viva Connections. Sorry, we don't have time today to explain what is the dashboard and how it's configured, but this is basically Viva Connections, the Viva Connections dashboard that I'm adding in here, and it will get the ACE cards that are defined in there. For some reason, it's not showing anything, but trust me, there are cards defined in this dashboard. I don't know why they are not showing. Let me do a quick save and close. And let me refresh. Here they are. So here are my cards. They were defined in Viva Connections. They are visible in Viva Connections in Teams as well. So I want to make them visible in here. And the other thing that exists in this page is the SharePoint News web part that probably you are familiar with. It's similar to the hero that is visible in communication sites, and it's common to be added to SharePoint pages to show SharePoint news posts. So I want to add it to the, let me swap things. I want to add it to the Communication Hub. So let's go in here, let's bring it, news, and let's put it in here. So this web part, like all the other ones, has different layouts. So the first thing that we will do is choose the top story layout. This is my favorite one to use. Let's resize it to make sure that we use all the available space. Let's resize this to make it match the size of the web part. And now let's hide the title. And as you can see, there's no option to hide the see all button. The see all, it's important if you want to get your users to see all the news. In this particular case, my goal is to display just the top 4 or 5 news in this location, and I don't want to get the option to add more news either. So in order to hide that, let's take use of the flexible layouts. And let's move it and let's put it in here. And as you can see, I'm overlapping two different web parts. See all in the ad, it's still visible, but I can easily get rid of that by sending it back. And by sending it back, my alert will cover the options that I didn't want. And I got my communication hub with my alerts, my news, and my dashboard all in the same place. As we are using SharePoint flexible layouts, and I'm in love with the possibility of using backgrounds, I will also add a background in here. But be careful when you do that, because a lot of backgrounds and a lot of heavy colors can also cause distraction. So try to combine them with light things, things that are barely noticeable, but are there to create the visual difference on your SharePoint pages. This is an outdoor company, so again, I'm bringing an image with mountains. This is pretty much white with a mountain with snow. In the middle, it doesn't have color, which is great because there's one problem with the list web part. It has a white background, and that becomes a problem with sections that support custom backgrounds, and with flexible sections in particular, because you will see that background. If you are a developer and if you are looking to create web parts that using SharePoint framework that need to support this type of backgrounds and flexible sections, avoid using backgrounds around your content. Don't put white backgrounds because SharePoint used to be white, because that will create an issue with the sections. In this one, it's not a problem because the background is on the sides and it's hidden, but with that one at the top, I guarantee that that would look super ugly.
Sorry,
All
Joe, there's
right.
another question in there, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Can you embed team chats or only Viva Engage?
You can. You can embed Teams chats, and that's one thing that I had saved to the end, but I can show you right now. Again, it's a SharePoint framework solution. It was in the title of the session for a reason, for me to show you the art of possible. So we add one at the top in here, and if you look here to the Microsoft Teams component that lives in here, this is actually Teams embedded. Again, it's a custom solution built by me. I made this available in the PNP GitHub repo. It's there for you to use the code. I also have it on my blog, compiled, ready for you to install. So if you open it and if you click to create a new chat, it allows you to start the conversation. Obviously, that this is connected to my Teams, and chats that are in here are my own chats. So yeah, it's possible, but in my case, I did that with a custom solution to complement the personalized experience of SharePoint. And I made it in a way that if you embedded it in a page like this in Microsoft Teams, it detects that it's there and it gets rid of the component, so you don't get Teams inside the Teams. All right. Let me minimize this for some reason. Yeah. Okay. So next thing, upcoming activities and quick links is what it's what's in here. So I will quickly edit again. Standard out-of-the-box web parts, flexible section, and bring my tools. Events are not in here, so I need an extra click. Events, all right. Put them here. This web part in particular, this events one, related with the question about the size of the font, allows you to set the title. So I will set this to having 4, and I will call it upcoming events. Okay, and I want all the events from this site. Events list, and I want to select a date range because I don't have any events happening right now. Let's select something in the past. Okay, done. Put it like this. I love the compact layout. Come on, the demo gods are not with me today, so let's close it. Go back to the settings in here and switch to the compact layout. Let's put it to 25 or 24. Okay, so, and the other one that I had next to it was the quick links. Quick links, it's in here. Add it. Same thing happens with the quick links, I believe. You can choose the headings to shrink a bit, but that's it. There is no way for you to add, to change the size of the link. I will not configure this as we are running short, and I want to show you another different way of creating sections. Now, I want to, if you look into here, we have a dark section at the bottom to end up the page. And there's a clearly separation between sections using these mountains that are aligned with the theme of the page. In order to do this, I will create not one but two flexible sections, and the first one will be used exclusively to add a background image. This is it. Add a background image. Now the peak of the mountains will be cropped. So what I will do is increase the height of the section so it gets the mountains visible. And as I told you, when you add background images to the sections, they get an overlay. And for this particular scenario, I don't want the overlay. I need to get rid of it. So I will remove the opacity. And the second section, I want to make use of the color that I define in the theme. And as you can see, this mountain, the color of this mountain matches with the section of the color. So when we hit the preview button, despite having two different sections, they will blend like if it was a single section. This gray thing, it's only visible in preview. Once it gets published, you will not see it. So don't worry about it. Okay. The last part is the theme updates for the organization. So I will add a text web part in here. Okay, I will use themes, theme updates. Okay. Let's make this bold and bigger. Okay, let's make it 42. Resize it a bit, decrease the size, and in here. Okay, and now what I have here could have been at the bottom, it could have been a custom web part, but in this case, it's not. It's a composition of out-of-the-box web parts. And what I will do is to increase the size of this component. I will bring a couple web parts to the page, upload a few images that I created myself and made rounded corners and transparent backgrounds so it works the way I want to. So this first one looks like this. I wanted to use, this is the size. Let's position it here. Okay, let's bring another image web part. And let's upload the image for Sophie and image. The image web part got a revamp recently, and it has now shapes. It's nothing super fancy, but they are super useful in this particular scenario. One thing that I didn't say, but if you are new to this, to drag the web parts, you will not be able to grab them and drag. You need to click in this 6 dots and move it to the desired location. So I'm put it in here, resize it to match the size of the other image, and now let's overlap it. So this is the composition, and now I will bring the text web part. I will put it in here. There's Copilot there trying to write something for me, but I have the text already in here. Let me just copy it, paste it. Okay. I don't know why it's not defaulting to the white. I want it to be centered. And I'll make this.
There's a question, how do
Yeah.
these sections do in terms of accessibility?
Not great, I must say. But we can minimize that by hiding some of the components and by defining the way the content flows. And that's the thing that I have to show last, right after this one. So this is a composition that I'm building. I could reformat this. Now that it has Copilot, it seems that it's not aligned, but that's because of Copilot. Once it gets published, it gets aligned. To create the other ones, I don't need to go through the same process of aligning and creating the same composition. What I will do is select all the items and I'll group them. And once they are grouped, click copy. It replicates it. Once it gets blue, they are ready for you to grab and to move around. Same thing for this one. And now, yeah, posting in here. So I will have to redo this over and over again for it to match, but you will have to trust me because we are running out of time. And I have this page built already. So I will show you the final result to show you then how mobile and how accessibility can work a bit better with flexible sections and with SharePoint in general. So at the bottom, let it load. Here's my mountains breaking the between the white and the dark section, and this is the same composition that was in there. I tweaked the fonts and the size to make it look a bit nicer, and I removed the interaction with the cards. This is just informative, and I don't want it to create any unnecessary noise to people that needs screen readers or something to get the images. So in order to do that and to manage that, let me come here to the image web part. What can be done to minimize that is to mark the image as decorative. And for some of them, they look great in the desktop. This first composition looks great in the desktop. You can define how the content flows from top to bottom or from left to right. The problem with this, and let me publish just to show you. Okay. SPC, ESPC demo. Okay, The problem with this is that when you are in a narrow screen, probably this won't add much, or for sure, this won't add anything relevant to the end user. And regardless of the way I put the content flowing, I will end up with this. Good afternoon, user. This is good. The news post is good as well, but there's no need for me to have this in here, even because it was not marked as decorative. I didn't remove the action, so it's opening as a pop-up. So to make these compositions work for your users and to prevent you from create unnecessary noise, I recommend you to look into the web parts list of settings. And for this particular one, for the image, what needs to be done is to disable the lightbox to prevent it from maximizing, to remove the interactions to the user, and mark it as decorative to be ignored by the accessibility tools. So I will republish this once again. And now if I go to the preview, I forgot to tick the option to hide it in mobile, didn't I? Let me go here quickly.
Someone just said, is there a possibility to have some kind of overlay? Meaning if someone clicks on an element, the other is displayed. Example, to build a map with detailed information on a click.
So when you click on the map, it opens. Is that it?
Maybe you might follow up. Example, build a map with detailed information on click. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is possible. You can put the map in there, add overlays on top with images, and then on click, the images can have links that navigate to different things or to expand the content of the image. That's totally possible, yes. Okay, so I set the option to hide it on mobile, and now what I have, my content is flowing the way I want. I want it to flow vertically, so the message is the message to the user is the first one, and followed by the news. The background is there. I don't want this. It doesn't add anything relevant to the mobile user, so I got rid of it. And I also got rid of the actions for the image, and I mark it as decorative for the accessibility. So it's not straightforward. It requires you to tweak and adjust things, and I suggest you to always validate how things look in mobile. So if I go here to the other one, and if I hit the preview button and switch to the mobile, the composition, even though it's grouped together, Microsoft does not respect the group, and it separates the elements. So in order for this to work in mobile, I will have to go there, and I will have to hide the pink card. In that way, I will have it working because I will have the image at the top, followed by the name, and followed by the text. So all the relevant information is there, but the pink square or rectangle needs to be removed for mobile. And these are the kind of things that I would love to get more support from Microsoft to allow us to build different views for mobile and for desktop using the flexible layouts to address these scenarios. But for now, we will have to play with the orientation of the section and with the options that are available in the web parts to control how things look like. So we are on top of the hour. I have another example to show you in here of how you can add more animations. This background things also support GIFs, and with GIFs you can create animations like this. So you can add animations to your pages that will ultimately generate engagement with the users because they look nice and they look modern. And in this case in particular, again, text, a background that has a GIF of a plane flying from US to Europe with the same card web parts that we used in the other web parts. And well, this is everything that I had planned for these sessions. For this session, this would have a lot more to tell about the flexible layouts and how you can combine them with everything that SharePoint has, from SharePoint framework solutions to list formatting with JSON and to out-of-the-box web parts. But with the time frame that we had today, this was the thing possible, but we were able to build an entire page, and I hope that you can use some of these techniques on your own pages and on your own sites, and you can start creating SharePoint sites that your users love and enjoy to use. Thank you so much.
Perfect, Joe. Thanks for a great presentation and demo. So someone just asked, do you have a YouTube page? As it's a great
I
session.
do. I do have a YouTube channel. Let me show you how you can reach there. So if you go to amazon.tech.net, you will land into the main site of my blog. And from here, you can access to everything that I have. The latest posts across everything that I write, and also here in my latest videos, it goes straight to my, or it was supposed to go to my YouTube channel.
Do you want to put those links
Another
in the
way.
chat?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I will certainly do. This subscribe goes there. If you want to follow, where is the chat? It's here. Okay. So if you want to follow the YouTube channel, it's there. And here's the main entrance for the blog. From the left side, you will find the SharePoint blog and the Teams blog and all of that. I tried to make it look like SharePoint, so even though it's not, it has the same look and feel of SharePoint.
Perfect. So on behalf of the ESPC community, we'd like to extend a big thank you to you again, Joe, for taking time out today to carry this webinar. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Perfect. So that's the end of today's webinar. You can find this webinar and more at sharepointeurope.com/research center. Thanks again for all of you for joining us today, and I hope you join us again soon. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.